broken glass in windows or smashed windows and things like that show that there can be violence in an area. And no one wants to be in an area where there can be violence like that.
If I see broken glass, the first thing I'm gonna think is like, I'm gonna question if it's a safe area, or if it's okay for me to be there, if I'll be safe being there, because I'm gonna think something happened there, and if something happened there, then it's probably likely that something could happen again.
If you see like a broken home or broken windows, like you kind of think like, oh, well, this place isn't so great.
Sometimes out in Lowell, a bank will take over, kick neighbors out of homes. Sociologists say that in a community full of broken windows and abandoned houses, people are overwhelmed by the urban decay, so the morale of the community will go down as the crime rates go up.
So when there's a broken window, you do see crime rates go up. You see more trash being thrown on the ground. You see more vandalism, more kids throwing rocks and breaking more windows, because you figure, hey, why not? It's already there,
In an economic recession, foreclosure rates skyrocket, only adding more broken windows to most communities in our country. Communities like Lowell.
Empty houses in and of themselves just kind of cast like a dark shadow on wherever it is.
It's like a hole in the community, there's families here and there, and then there's just like this empty spot, It's like it's a missing link in the chain of the whole community bits.
It says that once someone lived there, and there are many things that can happen because of consequence of an empty house. People can get in, and sometimes it becomes a danger to the community because it can set fires. People that either want to consume drugs can go there and leave needles, and then kids that are one day playing go inside of the house and get hurt by those needles.
If you see an empty house that is being built, then you know that that's something totally different. But if you see an empty house where someone had lived, then it's darker in a sense that they're not there anymore.
Many of these buildings are falling apart because they have lost their owners to anonymous banks who do not perform regular maintenance on these properties. According to the Merrimack Valley Housing Report, 129 deeds were foreclosed in the city of Lowell in 2008, a 105% increase from our city's 63 foreclosures in 2007. Many believe that this is due to an inability to communicate with the banks that are repossessing their places of residence, and experts believe that the rates are still rising.
Disheartening to know that, people are being evicted around where you live.
If you have a population that's being evicted or frequently, or that doesn't stay in any one place for a long time, I think that negatively impacts the community because people don't really put down roots in it. They don't have an ownership interest in the community. They don't have a desire to make sure that everything works out. Plus, they don't have the ability to advance their own lives.
Sometimes these evictions are even performed in a violent manner.
First of all, I don't believe in that we have to go and use violence to talk to people about, why are you not paying your mortgage? And I think as a society that has, lived through so many, historical moments that we've struggled so much, I think that now this is a time where we've learned enough to know that these are not the best ways to go about, taking people's homes.
Luckily, community members are stepping up to the plate. Local organizations like CASA of Lowell have been working towards organizing Lowell residents and affected people to take action within a larger framework to support statewide, national, and international organizing for social and economic justice.
CASA stands for Community Action to Support Affordability, and it's a place where people can come, anyone from Lowell or around Lowell, to basically just address any issues that they have that aren't being addressed by society. For example, violent evictions.
Well, casa in Spanish means home, and for me, casa means for what we always are dreaming about. We all, even if you're an immigrant, you dream about coming to the United States and have your own casa, having your home, and you work so hard to have these things and to nurture what a home should be. And in a community, when you build or you even draw a community, you just build a bunch of homes. You don't even build, buildings or stuff like that. You don't think about cities and, high buildings. You really think about small homes, family homes, and that's what we are here for.
It's just a place where people can come together. They can talk about what's wrong and, actually move toward a goal together, because there's power in numbers, which is something that we try to capture.
For me, it's about fighting for my home, fighting for my neighbor's home, and fighting for all of us to have the right to have a home.
One of the programs that is used by CASA of Lowell as an organizing tool is the LOVE program.
LOVE stands for a Link to Oppose Violent Evictions. And it's basically a program where people can come and talk to us. We're focusing on informing people what their rights are.
The media sometimes doesn't really show the community when they're fighting, and they only show the negative things, and most of the time they don't put attention to what neighbors are doing to do proactive change in a collective way. And that's what CASA wants to do. We want, as neighbors, we want to fuse the alarm as a love tree, because that's our logo. It's a tree. And using that model, that representation of a tree, we can actually organize and fuse all these alarms and call, hey, listen, we have to meet at the corner of this place. Conchita Alonso is getting evicted. And so Conchita, don't worry, we're going to be all there. And we go there. And that day, we make sure that we have a camcorder, and that we bring people that we can know from the media and bloggers and people that are going to report what's happening. So it's a shame on you to that society that is letting a family lose their home. And that's basically what we want to do.
A lot of people leave their homes even though they legally don't have to, because banks sort of push them out. I call it bank bullying. They send them notices, you have to leave, or they'll send them a letter that says, if you leave, we'll give you $1,000 to put on your first month's rent. And it looks like maybe a good deal to these people because they think they're losing their home anyway, but legally they don't have to leave. And a lot of people get tricked that way. So one of the ways that we're helping people is just trying to get them aware of their rights.
What does the LOVE program recommend to people facing a violent eviction?
Well, first of all, we don't want anybody to be ashamed of their situation. A lot of people are afraid to tell their neighbors and their friends that they're going to lose their home because it's embarrassing. But I think it's really important that we make it loud and let everybody know, because so many people are going through this at the same time, and nobody's alone.
Instead of calling the police, call your neighbor, and your neighbor can help you. And if we trigger that alarms in that way of people doing things from now on, it creates a habit of people actually believing that in their community they're going to find the solutions to whatever problem they have.
If you're about to lose your home, just call CASA. We're here. We're ready to help you fight. And we've got, so many people just itching to go and protest and help you save your home.
Having a safe and affordable home is a human right, and it is our shared responsibility to ensure that no one in our community is left out in the cold and that no family is broken up because homes are not affordable. Let's link to oppose violent evictions.
And so, sí se puede. Yes, we can.
Violent evictions got communities, but we fight to build our immunities, creating connections with friends and neighbors, using our brains, our hearts labor. Violent evictions got communities.